81. To Mr. J. J. Goodwin, Switzerland, 8th August 1896. Dear Goodwin, I am now taking rest. I read from different letters a lot about Kripananda. I am sorry for him. There must be something wrong in his head. Let him alone. None of you need bother about him. As for hurting me, that is not in the power of gods or devils. So be at rest. It is unswerving love and perfect unselfishness that conquer everything. We Vedantists in every difficulty ought to ask the subjective question, why do I see that? Why can I not conquer this with love? I am very glad at the reception the Swami has met with, also at the good work he is doing. Great work requires great and persistent effort for a long time. Neither need we trouble ourselves if a few fail. It is in the nature of things that many should fall, that troubles should come, that tremendous difficulties should arise, that selfishness and all other devils in the human heart should struggle hard when they are about to be driven out by the fire of spirituality. The road to the good is the roughest and steepest in the universe. It is a wonder that so many succeed, no wonder that so many fall. Character has to be established through 1,000 stumbles. I am much refreshed now. I look out of the window and see the huge glaciers just before me and feel that I am in the Himalayas. I am quite calm. My nerves have regained their accustomed strength, and little vexations, like those you write of, do not touch me at all. How shall I be disturbed by this child's play? The whole world is a mere child's play, preaching, teaching, and all included. Know him to be the sannyasin who neither hates nor desires. Gita 5:3. And what is there to be desired in this little mud puddle of a world, with its ever-recurring misery, disease, and death? He who has given up all desires, he alone is happy. This rest, eternal, peaceful rest, I am catching a glimpse of now in this beautiful spot. Having once known that the Atman alone and nothing else exists, desiring what or for whose desire shall you suffer misery about the body? Brihadaranyaka 4:4-12. I feel as if I had my share of experience in what they call work. I am finished. I am longing now to get out. Out of thousands, but one strives to attain the goal, and even of those who struggle hard, but few attain. Gita 7:3. For the senses are powerful, they drag men down. A good world, a happy world, and social progress are all terms equally intelligible with hot ice or dark light. If it were good, it would not be the world. The soul foolishly thinks of manifesting the infinite in finite matter, intelligence through gross particles, but at last it finds out its error and tries to escape. This going back is the beginning of religion, and its method, destruction of self, that is, love. Not love for wife or child or anybody else, but love for everything else except this little self. Never be deluded by the tall talk, of which you will hear so much in America, about human progress and such stuff. There is no progress without corresponding digression. In one society, there is one set of evils, in another, another. So with periods of history. In the Middle Ages, there were more robbers, now more cheats. At one period, there is less idea of married life, at another, more prostitution. In one, more physical agony, in another, 1,000-fold more mental. So with knowledge. Did not gravitation already exist in nature before it was observed and named? Then what difference does it make to know that it exists? Are you happier than the Red Indians? The only knowledge that is of any value is to know that all this is humbug. But few, very few will ever know this. Know the Atman alone and give up all other vain words. This is the only knowledge we gain from all this knocking about the universe. This is the only work, to call upon mankind to awake, arise, and stop not till the goal is reached. It is renunciation, tyaga, that is meant by religion, and nothing else. Ishvara is the sum total of individuals, yet he himself also is an individual in the same way as the human body is a unit, of which each cell is an individual. Samashti or the collective is God. Vyashti or the component is the soul of Jiva. The existence of Ishvara therefore depends on that of Jiva as the body on the cell and vice versa. Jiva and Ishvara are coexistent beings. As long as the one exists, the other also must. Again, since in all the higher spheres, except on our earth, the amount of good is vastly in excess of the amount of bad, the sum total or Ishvara may be said to be all good, almighty, and omniscient. These are obvious qualities and need no argument to prove from the very fact of totality. Brahman is beyond both of these and is not a state. It is the only unit not composed of many units. It is the principle which runs through all, from a cell to God, and without which nothing can exist. Whatever is real is that principle or Brahman. When I think I am Brahman, then I alone exist. It is so also when you so think, and so on. Each one is the whole of that principle. A few days ago, I felt a sudden irresistible desire to write to Kripananda. Perhaps he was unhappy and thinking of me, so I wrote him a warm letter. Today, from the American news, I see why it was so. I sent him flowers gathered near the glaciers. Asked Miss Waldo to send him some money and plenty of love. Love never dies. The love of the Father never dies. Whatever the children may do or be, he is my child. He has the same or more share in my love and help, now that he is in misery. Yours with blessings, Vivekananda. 82. To Mr. E.T. Sturdy, Grand Hotel, Saas-Fee, Valais, Switzerland, 8th August 1896. Blessed and beloved, a large packet of letters came along with yours. Herewith I send you the letter written to me by Max Muller. It is very kind and good of him. Miss Muller thinks that she will go away very soon to England. In that case, I will not be able to go to Bern for that Purity Congress I have promised. Only if the Seviers consent to take me along, I will go to Kiel and write to you before. The Seviers are good and kind, but I have no right to take advantage of their generosity, nor can I take the same of Miss Muller, as the expenses there are frightful. As such, I think it best to give up the Bern Congress, as it will come in the middle of September, a long way off. I am thinking therefore of going towards Germany, ending in Kiel, and thence back to England. Balagangadhara Tilak, Mr. Tilak, is the name and Orion, that of the book. Yours, Vivekananda. P.S. There is also one by Jacobi, perhaps translated on the same lines and with the same conclusions. P.S. I hope you will ask Miss Muller's opinion about the lodgings and the hall, as I am afraid she will be very displeased if she and others are not consulted. V. Miss Muller telegraphed to Professor Deussen last night. The reply came this morning, 9th August, welcoming me. I am to be in Kiel at Deussen's on the 10th September. So where will you meet me? At Kiel? Miss Muller goes to England from Switzerland. I am going with the Seviers to Kiel. I will be there on the 10th September. V. P.S. I have not fixed yet anything about the lecture. I have no time to read. The Salem Society most probably is a Hindu community and no faddists. V. 83. To Mr. E.T. Sturdy, Switzerland, 12th August 1896. Blessed and beloved, today I received a letter from America which I sent to you. I have written them that my idea of course is concentration, at least for the present beginning. I have also suggested them that instead of having too many papers, they may start by putting in a few sheets in the Brahmavadin, written in America, and raise the subscription a little, which will cover the American expenses. Do not know what they will do. We will start from here towards Germany next week. Miss Muller goes to England as soon as we have crossed over to Germany. Captain and Mrs. Sevier and myself will expect you at Kiel. I haven't yet written anything nor read anything. I am indeed taking a good rest. Do not be anxious. You will have the article ready. I had a letter from the Mutt stating that the other Swami is ready to start. He will, I'm sure, be just the man you want. He is one of the best Sanskrit scholars we have, and as I hear, he has improved his English much. I had a number of newspaper cuttings from America about Saradananda. I hear from them that he has done very well there. America is a good training ground to bring out all that is in a man. There is such a sympathy in the air. I had letters from Goodwin and Saradananda. S. sends his love to you and Mrs. Sturdy and the baby. With everlasting love and blessings, Vivekananda. 84. To Mr. E.T. Sturdy, Kiel, 10th September 1896. Dear friend, I have at last seen Professor Deussen. The whole of yesterday was spent very nicely with the professor, sightseeing and discussing about the Vedanta. He is what I should call a warring Advaitist, no compromise with anything else. Ishvara is this bugbear. He would have none of it if he could. He is very much delighted with the idea of your magazine and wants to confer with you on these subjects in London, where he is shortly going. 85. To Miss Mary Hale, Airlie Lodge, Ridgeway Gardens, Wimbledon, England, 17th September 1896. Dear sister, today I reached London after my 2 months of climbing and walking and glacier seeing in Switzerland. One good it has done me, a few pounds of unnecessary adipose tissue have returned back to the gaseous state. Well, there is no safety even in that, for the solid body of this birth has taken a fancy to outstrip the mind towards infinite expansion. If it goes on this way, I would have soon to lose all personal identity even in the flesh, at least to all the rest of the world. It is impossible to express my joy in words at the good news contained in Harriet's letter. I have written to her today. I am sorry I cannot come over to see her married, but I will be present in fine body with all good wishes and blessings. Well, I am expecting such news from you and other sisters to make my joy complete. Now, my dear Mary, I will tell you a great lesson I have learnt in this life. It is this: the higher is your ideal, the more miserable you are. For such a thing as an ideal cannot be attained in the world, or in this life even. He who wants perfection in the world is a madman, for it cannot be. How can you find the infinite in the finite? Therefore, I tell you, Harriet will have a most blessed and happy life, because she is not so imaginative and sentimental as to make a fool of herself. She has enough of sentiment as to make life sweet, and enough of common sense and gentleness as to soften the hard points in life which must come to everyone. So has Harriet McKinley in a still higher degree? She is just the girl to make the best of wives, only this world is so full of idiots that very few can penetrate beyond the flesh. As for you and Isabel, I will tell you the truth, and my language is plain. You, Mary, are like a mettlesome Arab, grand, splendid. You will make a splendid queen, physically, mentally. You will shine alongside of a dashing, bold, adventurous, heroic husband. But, my dear sister, you will make one of the worst of wives. You will take the life out of our easy-going, practical, plodding husbands of the everyday world. Mind, my sister, although it is true that there is more romance in actual life than in any novel, yet it is few and far between. Therefore, my advice to you is that until you bring down your ideals to a more practical level, you ought not to marry. If you do, the result will be misery for both of you. In a few months, you will lose all regard for a commonplace, good, nice young man, and then life will become insipid. As to Sister Isabel, she has the same temperament as you. Only this kindergarten has taught her a good lesson of patience and forbearance. Perhaps she will make a good wife. There are two sorts of persons in the world. The one, strong-nerved, quiet, yielding to nature, not given to much imagination, yet good, kind, sweet, etc. For such is this world. They alone are born to be happy. There are others again with high-strung nerves, tremendously imaginative, with intense feeling, always going high one moment and coming down the next. For them there is no happiness. The first class will have almost an even tenor of happiness. The last will have to run between ecstasy and misery. But of these alone what we call geniuses are made. There is some truth in the recent theory that genius is a sort madness. Now persons of this class, if they want to be great, they must fight to finish, clear out the deck for battle. No encumbrance, no marriage, no children, no undue attachment to anything except the one idea, and live and die for that. I am a person of this sort. I have taken up the one idea of Vedanta, and I have cleared the deck for action. You and Isabel are made of this metal, but let me tell you, though it is hard, you are spoiling your lives in vain. Either take up one idea, clear the deck, and to it dedicate the life, or be contented and practical. Lower the ideal, marry, and have a happy life. Either bhoga or yoga. Either enjoy this life or give up and be a yogi. None can have both in one. Now or never, select quick. He who is very particular gets nothing, says the proverb. Now sincerely and really and forever determined to clear the deck for fight, take up anything, philosophy or science or religion or literature, and let that be your God for the rest of your life. Achieve happiness or achieve greatness. I have no sympathy with you and Isabel. You are neither for this nor for that. I wish to see you happy, as Harriet has well chosen, or great. Eating, drinking, dressing, and society nonsense are not things to throw a life upon, especially you, Mary. You are rusting away a splendid brain and abilities for which there is not the least excuse. You must have ambition to be great. I know you will take these rather harsh remarks from me in the right spirit, knowing I like you really as much or more than what I call you, my sisters. I had long had a mind to tell you this, and as experience is gathering, I feel like telling you. The joyful news from Harriet urged me to tell you this. I will be overjoyed to hear that you are married also and happy, so far as happiness can be had here, or would like to hear of you as doing great deeds. I had a pleasant visit with Professor Deussen in Germany. I am sure you have heard of him as the greatest living German philosopher. He and I traveled together to England and today came together to see my friend here with whom I am to stop for the rest of my stay in England. He, Deussen, is very fond of talking Sanskrit and is the only Sanskrit scholar in the West who can talk in it. As he wants to get a practice, he never talks to me in any other language but Sanskrit. I have come over here amongst my friends, shall work for a few weeks, and then go back to India in the winter. Ever your loving brother, Vivekananda. 86. To Miss Josephine Macleod, Greycoat Gardens, Westminster, Southwest, London, 3rd December 1896. Dear Joe, many thanks, dear Jojo, for your kind invitation, but the dear God has disposed it this way, which is I am to start for India on the 16th with Captain and Mrs. Sevier and Mr. Goodwin. The Seviers and myself take steamer at Naples, and as there will be 4 days at Rome, I will look in to say goodbye to Alberta. Things are in a hum here just now. The big hall for the class 39 Victoria is full, and yet more are coming. Well, the good old country now calls me. I must go. So goodbye to all projects of visiting Russia this April. I just said things are going a little in India and am off again for the ever beautiful US and England, etc. So very kind of you to send Mabel's letter. Good news indeed. Only I am a little sorry for poor Fox. However, Mabel escaped him. That is better. You did not write anything about how things are going on in New York. I hope it is all well there. Poor Kola. Is he able now to make a living? The coming of Goodwin was very opportune, as it captured the lectures here which are being published in a periodical form. Already there have been subscribers enough to cover the expenses. 3 lectures next week, and my London work is finished for this season. Of course, everybody here thinks it foolish to give it up just now, the boom is on. But the dear Lord says, start for old India. I obey. To frankincense, to Mother, to Hollister, and everyone else my eternal love and blessings, and with the same for you. Yours ever sincerely, Vivekananda. 87. To Swami Brahmananda, Hotel Minerva, Florence, 20th December 1896. Dear Rakhal, as you see, by this time I am on my way. Before leaving London, I got your letter and the pamphlet. Take no heed of Mazumdar's madness. He surely has gone crazy with jealousy. Such foul language as he has used would only make people laugh at him in a civilized country. He has defeated his purpose by the use of such vulgar words. All the same, we ought not to allow Haramohan or anyone else to go and fight Brahmos and others in our name. The public must know that we have no quarrel with any sect, and if anybody provokes a quarrel, he is doing it on his own responsibility. Quarreling and abusing each other are our national traits. Lazy, useless, vulgar, jealous, cowardly, and quarrelsome, that is what we are, Bengalis. Anyone who wants to be my friend must give up these. Neither do you allow Haramohan to print any book, because such printing as he does is only cheating the public. If there are oranges in Calcutta, send 100 to Madras care of Alasinga, so that I may have them when I reach Madras. Mazumdar writes that the sayings of Sri Ramakrishna published in the Brahmavadin are not genuine and are lies. In that case, ask Suresh Dutt and Rambabu to give him the lie in the Indian Mirror. As I did not do anything about the collection of the Uktis, sayings, I cannot say anything. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. P.S. Don't mind these fools. No fool like an old fool is the proverb. Let them bark a little. Their occupation is gone. Poor souls. Let them have a little satisfaction in barking. 88. To Miss Mary Hale, Damphor, Prince Regent Leopold, 3rd January 1897. Dear Mary, I received your letter forwarded from London in Rome. It was very kind of you to write such a beautiful letter, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I do not know anything about the evolution of the orchestra in Europe. We are nearing Port Said after 4 days of frightfully bad sailing from Naples. The ship is rolling as hard as she can, and you must pardon my scrawls under such circumstances. From Suez begins Asia. Once more Asia. What am I? Asiatic, European, or American? I feel a curious medley of personalities in me. You didn't write anything about Dharmapala, his goings and doings. I am much more interested in him than in Gandhi. I land in a few days at Colombo and mean to do Ceylon a bit. There was a time when Ceylon had more than 20 million inhabitants and a huge capital of which the ruins cover nearly 100 square miles. The Ceylonese are not Dravidians but pure Aryans. It was colonized from Bengal about 800 BC, and they have kept a very clear history of their country from that time. It was the greatest trade center of the ancient world, and Anuradhapuram was the London of the ancients. I enjoyed Rome more than anything in the West, and after seeing Pompeii, I have lost all regard for the so-called modern civilization. With the exception of steam and electricity, they had everything else and infinitely more art conceptions and executions than the moderns. Please tell Miss Locke that I was mistaken when I told her that sculpturing of the human figure was not developed in India as among the Greeks. I am reading in Ferguson and other authorities that in Orissa or Jagannath, which I did not visit, there are among the ruins human figures which for beauty and anatomical skill would compare with any production of the Greeks. There is a colossal figure of death, a huge female skeleton covered with a shriveled skin. The awful fidelity to anatomical details are frightening and disgusting. Says my author, one of the female figures in the niche is exactly like the Venus de Medici and so on. But you must remember that everything almost has been destroyed by the iconoclastic Mohammedan. Yet the remnants are more than all European debris put together. I have travelled 8 years and not seen many of the masterpieces. Tell Sister Locke also that there is a ruined temple in a forest in India, which and the Parthenon of Greece Ferguson considers as the climax of architectural art, each of its type, the one of conception, the other of conception and detail. The later Mughal buildings, etc., the Indo-Saracenic architecture does not compare a bit with the best types of the ancients. With all my love, Vivekananda. P.S. Just by chance saw Mother Church and Father Pope at Florence. You know of it already. V. 89. To Swami Brahmananda, Madras, 12th February 1897. Dear Rakhal, I am to start by SS Mombasa next Sunday. I had to give up invitations from Pune and other places on account of bad health. I am very much pulled down by hard work and heat. The Theosophists and others wanted to intimidate me. Therefore, I had to give them a bit of my mind. You know, they persecuted me all the time in America because I did not join them. They wanted to begin it here. So I had to clear my position. If that displeases any of my Calcutta friends, God help them. You need not be afraid, I do not work alone, but He is always with me. What could I do otherwise? Yours, Vivekananda. P.S. Take the house if furnished. V. 90. To Swami Ramakrishnananda, Darjeeling, 20th April 1897. Dear Shashi, all of you have doubtless reached Madras by this time. I should think Biligiri is certainly taking great care of you, and that Sadananda serves you as your attendant. In Madras, the worship should be done in a completely sattvic manner, without a trace of rajas in it. I hope Alasingha has by now returned to Madras. Don't enter into wrangles with anybody. Always maintain a calm attitude. For the present, let the worship of Sri Ramakrishna be established and continued in the house of Biligiri. But see that the worship does not become very elaborate and long. Time thus saved should be utilized in holding classes and doing some preaching. It is good to initiate as many as you can, supervise the work of the 2 papers, and help in whatever way you can. Biligiri has 2 widowed daughters. Kindly educate them and make special efforts that through them more such widowed women get a thorough grounding in their own religion and learn a little English and Sanskrit. But all this work should be done from a distance. One has to be exceedingly careful before young women. Once you fall, there is no way out, and the sin is unpardonable. I am very sorry to hear that Gupta was bitten by a dog, but I hear that the dog was not a mad one, so there is no cause for alarm. In any case, see that he takes the medicine sent by Gangadhar. Early morning, finish daily your worship and other duties briefly, and calling together Biligiri with his family, read before them the Gita and other sacred books. There is not the least necessity for teaching the divine love of Radha and Krishna. Teach them pure devotion to Sita Ram and Hara Parvati. See that no mistake is made in this respect. Remember that the episodes of the divine relationship between Radha and Krishna are quite unsuitable for young minds. Especially Biligiri and other followers of Ramanujacharya are worshippers of Rama, so see to it that their innate attitude of pure devotion is never disturbed. In the evenings, give some spiritual teaching like that to the general public. Thus, gradually, even the mountain is crossed. See that an atmosphere of perfect purity is always maintained, and that there enters not the slightest trace of Vamachara. For the rest, the Lord Himself will guide you. There is no fear. Give to Biligiri my respectful salutations and loving greetings, and convey my salutations to similar devotees. My illness is now much less. It may even be cured completely if the Lord wills. My love, blessings, and greetings to you. Yours affectionately, Vivekananda. P.S. Please tender my specially affectionate greetings and blessings to Dr. Nanjunda Rao and help him as much as you can. Try your best to particularly encourage the study of Sanskrit among the non-Brahmins. V.